yesterday. We'll see how the Georgia offense advances today. You see Faircloth there in the dugout. 15 left on base in the series here in a game that you could argue Mississippi State maybe should have won on Friday night. Certainly have had missed opportunities in Georgia yesterday, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that many runners left on base, that's always going to be an issue. So we've got to really focus on moving those runners around and scoring those runs.
Both starters that started Friday night will be back in the circle here this afternoon. And we'll see Randy Rolling here first as we go to the first. Only went 2 innings on Friday night, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned.
Yeah, we didn't see her best stuff on Friday night, so coming in today is really going to be a huge opportunity for her. We know what she can do. She's going to be throwing mid-60s. Her bread and butter is that vertical separation. She's going to be throwing a drop ball and a rise ball. And ultimately, today, she needs to be attacking that zone early and attacking those batters.
Both of these teams looking to win their first conference series of the year. And for Mississippi State, Morgan Stiles, Nadia Barbary, and Kiara Sells to see the plate here. 15 runners left on base in the series for Mississippi State here this weekend in a game Friday night. State out hitting Georgia 12-3.
Yeah, both of these teams have now seen these respective pitchers for the opposite team. So gonna look for them to be adjusting as they go through this game even more so than before.
Morgan Stiles to lead it off for State. Her numbers this year in just the first inning alone, 391 average, 12 runs and 12 hits.
I mean, she's absolutely a spark at the top of the lineup for the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Sophomore from Athens, Alabama. Off the end of the bat into foul territory. And leaving the count up 2-2. Stiles yesterday, an RBI single in the 5th inning. Scored Mississippi State's first run of the day. What was a tight one, 3-2 the final score, 6-5 in hits, and that's where that 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position came up big for Georgia at the end of the game as the 2-2 gets in there for a called strike 3 from Erin Golden. 1 away.
Beautiful pitch right here by Rolling to just skim the outside corner of that plate. She's using that curveball, that movement there, which is, to be honest, it's not her bread and butter necessarily, but she's able to use that and start that pitch off the plate to fool the batter.
Here's Nadia Barbary. Lone Georgian on the Mississippi State roster, the 5'7" senior from Douglasville and Chapel Hill High School. Seen quite a few 10 jerseys in the stands here this weekend. Mississippi State has traveled really well over to Athens here this weekend and well represented down that first base line. High to Barbary, 2-1 the count. Top 3 of the lineup, same as yesterday for Mississippi State. Barbary reached twice. She got hit once and reached on a fielder's choice. Comes into the day hitting .330 now on the season with 8 home runs. Called strike from Erin Golden. Cameron Ellison has shifted over to first base after working third yesterday. Susan Eads was behind the plate yesterday. She'll work the hot corner here this afternoon. 2-2 off the end of the bat. This one to Lindemuth. At third base, 2 down.
I love the sequencing and pitching right there. Rolling had used those curveballs earlier in the count and then was able to use a drop ball and actually change the plane of eyesight there to get that one off the end of the bat.
Really looking to bounce back from what was a tough outing on Friday night. As Kiara Sells, the 5'6" senior from Jasper, Texas, will stand in with a 400 average here in the 3 spot. Sells got the scoring going in the 6th inning yesterday with a leadoff home run on a 3-2 pitch that tied the game. And then Kinley Keller came up behind her with a pinch hit home run to give Mississippi State the 3-2 lead it would hold on to and win game 2 of the series. Two for 3 yesterday was Sells. Had a hit on Friday night in addition. Georgia dugout down the third base side in the shade here this afternoon, and shade going to be a popular place to be here. Going to be in the upper 80s this afternoon on the 22nd day of March.
Yeah, it's already getting a little toasty. And again, same as yesterday, not a cloud in the sky. So outfitters going to be battling the sun when it comes to fly balls.
And a little bit more consistent wind than what we had yesterday afternoon, with the wind blowing straight across and left to right in the outfield. See 83 degrees. Should get up near 86 for a high this afternoon. But it has not deterred anybody from coming out and joining us here this afternoon at Jack Turner Stadium. A packed house here on the main grandstand. Folks enjoying the spring weather and really competitive SEC series. Des Rivera, the catcher. We mentioned her yesterday, one of 7 players in Division I without a strikeout with at least 40 at-bats. An impressive number. Rivera batted in the 6th spot yesterday. Went 1 for 3 with a single back in the 5th inning. The 2-0 is popped to center. Sullivan back shy of the warning track, and she'll pull it in. Bottom of the 1st here in Athens. Like Mississippi State, it'll be the top 3, same as yesterday for the Georgia Bulldogs, as Kirsten Roos, Jaden Goodwin, and Sarah Gordon will see the plate here in the 1st inning. Emily Digby batting in the 8th spot here this afternoon, Georgia shortstop. 150th career start this afternoon.
What a milestone.
Congratulations to the junior from Decula. Peja Gould got the start Friday night for Mississippi State and pitched pretty well. Defense kind of let her down a little bit there. On Friday night, she went 5 innings, 3 hit ball, 6 runs, only 1 earned.
Yeah, even then, like, I feel like we didn't see the best of Peja Gould. She's going to throw several different speeds. She has a fast speed, she has a mid-speed, and a slower speed in her changeup. So the Georgia offense is going to have to be pretty picky when it comes to what they're going to swing at and what they're going to go for.
Kirsten Roos, the senior transfer for Georgia, will lead things off. Here's a little bunt down the 3rd base line, and nobody's got a shot of making a play on that one. We saw Georgia bunt successfully yesterday.
No one was expecting that one. They didn't even try to go for the play there. You see 3rd baseman Barbary coming up, and she's not even trying to make that play. She knows that she was a little far back to try to make that play.
Not what you'd expect out of your leadoff hitter there, but Georgia looking to get a runner aboard, and this one's sent to right field. This one's going to roll just short of the wall. Roos turning and making her way to 3rd base. Georgia on the corners here with nobody out.
Let's talk about some momentum right here. That was awesome heads-up base running by Ruth, too. She was able to not even slow down to turn the base. We'll see that shot right here pulled to right field. And Ruth's not even slowing down, able to get to third. So we're in a first and third situation right here. A lot of possibilities.
Jaden Goodwin has been so productive for Georgia here this weekend in the series, jumping on the first one there. So now here's Gould into a little bit of a jam here early with nobody out and runners at first and third. And it'll be the right fielder, Sarah Gordon. Gordon, who got the start at catcher yesterday, but moved out to right field later in the game. And these two for the series. Top of the lineup has been productive for Georgia, really both teams as well. We'll talk about that as we go here this afternoon.
Goodwin and Gordon really have been difference makers for the Georgia offense throughout the season, but also this weekend.
2-3 hitters for Georgia in all three games, and that's going to score a run for Georgia as Goodwin was maybe caught in a rundown, and the throw to second will escape and go to the outfield, and Georgia will strike first here this afternoon.
That was certainly a miscue on Mississippi State's behalf. I'm thinking there was maybe a lack of communication there, a miscommunication. And ultimately that ball gets through and you have a run score because of it. Again, difference maker. Georgia now has even more momentum right here in this inning. You'll see that ball literally just go straight through second and short. Neither one of those players were there. And so you have to think that there was some miscommunication between the middle infield and the catcher that caused that.
And we mentioned Friday night, Gould giving up 6 runs and only 1 earned. This one fouled back into the stands. So Goodwin goes to second on a throwing error by the catcher. And that'll be an unearned run coming across again. So already giving up 1 here in the first, but not hurt. This was a team defensively, Mississippi State coming in here first in fielding percentage in D1. 3 errors on Friday night.
Yeah, it's not something you've expected from them throughout the season.
1 yesterday.
Yeah, certainly not. Errors are just not something you'd expect from this defense.
Entering the weekend, these two teams 1 and 2 in fielding percentage in D1. They flipped after Friday night. 3 errors Friday, 1 yesterday, already 1 here this afternoon. The 2-2 is swung on and missed, but the ball gets away. Ball got away. Now Samantha Ricketts is going to come out and talk with Aaron Golden.
So Gordon ran on that because it was a swing and miss, and then the ball got away. So if that was actually the case, then if she's not get thrown out at first, then she can take that back.
It looked like the ball maybe hit her when she was leaving the box.
Yeah, which is definitely what this is about.
And
yeah, that definitely
hit that right
hurt.
foot.
But honestly, props to Gordon for selling that and trying to get that there.
She remains at first base, and Ricketts is going to go out and talk with her infield here.
It makes me wonder if she's not feeling like that's worth a challenge in that situation. Be a pretty good challenge because you'd get it back.
Bouncing off the catcher Rivera there, and gets
Yeah,
that
she
right
kind of
foot.
kicks it almost. Obviously unintentionally, but. Yeah, she's going to stay at first, it looks like.
I'm a little surprised. I know we're in the bottom of the first inning, but down 1-0 in a rubber match. Got the opportunity to win a series on the road. You'd be throwing all the stops at. We mentioned the errors. 3 Friday night were the most in any game all year for Mississippi State.
Even then, there were a few balls that were, I would say, miscues, not necessarily scored as errors, that contributed to that as well. But I think right here, Georgia has a lot of momentum. Gordon's got to know that hit her foot. She's probably amped up at first a little bit. Another first and third situation right here.
So it'll be a strikeout wild pitch for Sarah Gordon that puts her at first base. Goodwin advancing over to third in the process. Here's Tyler Ellison popping this one to left field. Will drop in for a base hit. Sliding into second is Gordon. Coming home to score is Jaden Goodwin, and Georgia's got its second run of the afternoon.
We've talked about it before. Those balls are very frustrating as a defense. Great job by Ellison right here to just get a hold of it enough to pop it over the infield and short of left fielder Bernardini.
Got just enough to get it out of the infield. Once that thing kind of crossed in the outfield, just died.
Yeah.
So first and second now, still no one out. And Miller's squaring to bunt. Miller, the senior from Swanee and North Gwinnett High School. Pinch hit in the 6th inning yesterday and struck out. Grounds this one. That is a fair ball. This is going to clean him off as it rolls to the corner. 1 run has scored. Through to the plate, sliding in. She is out at home. And a great play defensively. And now Georgia may have a run down here indeed. So that will be the second out of the inning. And the bases will be clear as Miller gets caught in a rundown between second and third. Tyler Ellison is thrown out at home trying to score the second run. Boy, we talked about the Mississippi State defense here this week. It came up right there with a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really exciting sequence of events right there. You get the out at home, and then you get in a pickle, Marissa Miller in a pickle. And ultimately, defense is able to close out that gap and get her out at third. Great job defensively to get her out at third because no one was back at second. So if she had thrown that ball to third and not been able to get her, Marissa Miller would have a clear path back to second.
Just a heads-up play defensively there by Mississippi State, and maybe some poor base running by Georgia. Bases get cleared off. Here's a light tapper to Schaefer at second base. And that'll do it for Georgia offensively in the first. Dogs get 3 runs here in the bottom of the first. It's a 3-0 Georgia lead as we go to the second. Of events there as Georgia gets 1 on this play, but a heads-up throw from the shortstop to get Tyler Ellison at the plate, and then heads up turning and getting this one back to the infield to get Marissa Miller tagged out for the second out of the inning.
That is a perfect example of knowing where your base runners are and having that heads up mentality.
Randy rolling now with 3 runs in her pocket to work with here in the second inning. So Ellison singled aboard. Miller is given a double. Tyler Ellison's thrown out at home on a 7-6-2. A great throw from the shortstop Styles on the cutoff. And it ends up being a double play. So 7-6-2 on Ellison. It will go 2-4-5 on the put out of Miller at third base on the rundown.
That's got to be a complicated one to score on your book there, Caleb.
The little squares have gotten full of writing really quickly. One and two here to Taylor Troutman, the designated player, leading things off. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Mississippi State here in the second inning. Troutman DP yesterday. Reached on a fielder's choice, struck out, then was pinch hit for in the sixth inning. As Kenley Keller came up with a pinch hit home run to give Mississippi State the lead. Troutman fouls this one off the foot. Pressure freshman from Henderson, Kentucky. Fouled away here. It's the first time all weekend that Georgia's gotten the offense going early.
I think it's important to mention right here, like, what that does to a pitcher when you have the offense going early. A pitcher can really breathe a little bit more and trust her pitches. So for rolling, that's huge. You know, she didn't have her best stuff on Friday night. So to come out here today and be able to pitch early and attack the zone with some run support, like knowing that she has that run support, you can trust your pitches a little bit more and spin them a little bit harder. So that's huge right here.
This one well hit to right center on the run. That one bobbled out of the glove of Sullivan. My goodness, that would have been an unbelievable catch in right field. But really well hit by Taylor Troutman. She'll be at second base. Leadoff hitter aboard and in scoring position. We'll get another look at what was a near catch out there by Delaney Sullivan. And man,
that would have been an insane catch, fully airborne. I mean, props to her for just going after it and really just throwing herself at it.
So it's a double for Troutman. This one's fouled back into the crowd. Morgan Bernardini, the left fielder. .274 average now on the season. This one is popped up. Roos calls for it at second base. Run away.
You can see she was fighting the sun a little bit, had that hand up. You see all these players are going to have their sunglasses on right now, their visors on, trying to fight that sun a little bit.
Friday night against Mississippi State, Randy rolling 37 pitches in 2 innings of work. Gave up 2 runs. And we mentioned, didn't have her ace stuff Friday night. It looks like she's pitching a little bit better here this afternoon.
Yeah, we're seeing a really good variety of pitches from her today. She's working her east to west, her curve and her screwball a little bit more today. You can tell she's in a bit more of a groove than she was on Friday night.
There's Gabby Schaefer, the 7-hitter this afternoon. 5'7" freshman from Monroe, New York. Did not play yesterday. Now Got the start at second base. On Friday night. She fouls this one back. Beautiful afternoon at the ballpark. Everybody got their spot claimed for out there in left field.
Yeah, they got their rocking chairs out there.
Swing and a miss there by Schaefer. She'll be retired on strikes. 2 down.
That changeup right there, that is going to be a key difference maker for Rolling today. To be able to make her other pitches more effective, just dropping off the plate dirty. And I just love how fired up she gets when a play is made, when there's a strikeout.
Now with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, Chelsea Wilkinson comes out of the Georgia dugout. You're going to talk with her pitcher. Wilkinson, a former Georgia standout.
Yeah, she's someone that these girls would have looked up to as they were going through, you know, middle school, probably not high school, middle school, really. And so to be coached by her, that's got to be so cool.
College sports will age you really quickly when you think about today's players, where they were in life watching Chelsea Wilkinson pitch. And I was sitting in the exact same seat I'm sitting in right now. Tatum Silva, the center fielder for Mississippi State. Silva quickly behind here, 0-2. 5'6" junior transfer from Rescue, California. Former Utah State Aggie. No 2 misses. So after the leadoff double by Troutman, it's been pop-out strikeout here for Randy Rolling. This one popped foul. Abby Grace Richardson waits on deck. Crowd coming to life here with 2 strikes on a 1-2 count. Rolling taking her time here, 1-2. Goes outside, count evens up now, 2-2. Silva a run and a hit on Friday night. This one to the first baseman. Ovickas will take it herself. And after the leadoff double, she'll be stranded there as Randy Rolling goes 1-2-3 after that. Pitcher fired up as we go to the bottom of the second. Spring officially here, and warm weather got everybody dancing here at Jack Turner Stadium. Harry Dog out here enjoying some softball on a Sunday afternoon. Hope you took your allergy medication of choice this morning.
Yeah, the pollen is definitely, it's out.
Set any item down out here in front of you, leave it alone for about a half hour. You'll come back, it'll be a different color.
It's going to become a victim of the pollen.
Delaney Sullivan will lead it off for Georgia here in the second. It'll be 7, 8, and 9. Georgia Bulldogs 22-8 now on the season after the loss yesterday, 2-3 in the SEC. Mississippi State comes in today 29-5 as well, 2-3 in the SEC. Both these teams looking for its first conference series win of the year. Tony Baldwin looking on there for Georgia, and Samantha Ricketts from the Mississippi State dugout. Both these teams been really good here early this season. This one off the end of the bat of Sullivan, and a close play at first base. Cameron Ellison will say tag held on to the base there for the out.
Yeah, that was a good job by Richards right there to really hold on to that ball in that tag.
There's Tony Baldwin, who saw him a moment ago, 5th season as the Georgia head coach. Super Regionals twice under his watch. Going to get back to Oklahoma City here this season. Emily Digby, the 8-hitter, we mentioned 150th career start today for her. Had a single in the 7th yesterday. Otherwise, a couple of strikeouts on the afternoon. Peja Gould working in the circle for the 2nd time this weekend. Got the start Friday night. Bounces away from the catcher Rivera there. 2-2 the count. You and I were remarking Gould's ERA coming into the day at .95.
Crazy impressive, especially in the SEC. You'll expect that to climb a little bit throughout conference play, but if she can keep it just in that ballpark, that is so impressive. That's less than 1 run being scored per 7 innings.
Well, and after the success Georgia had offensively there in the 1st inning, that ERA has risen to an incredible 1.22. I mean, just as an astronomical balloon, it's still unbelievably good. Took just her 3rd loss of the season Friday night. 11-3 now on the year. Is the 3-2 in there for a called strike 3. It's the 2nd strikeout of the afternoon for Gould. Two down here in the Georgia 2nd. And Bailey Lindemuth, the 3rd baseman, will stand in.
Something that is so impressive about Gould's pitching is how spinny it is. She has this just ultra spin that's going to produce so much movement. So even when her pitches are missing, it's still moving a lot.
.107 strikeouts and 18 walks coming into today on the season. And on Friday, effective. Didn't really have her ace stuff Friday night. You see those 6 runs, only 1 of those actually earned. As a bouncer to 3rd base, Barbary fields it quickly and over to 1st. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Gould here in the 2nd. We go to the 3rd. Top of the lineups for both of these teams here this weekend that have gotten really the offense going 1 through 3, a .473 average on the weekend for State. Meanwhile, Georgia hitting .263 and 11 runs scored by the offense here this weekend, 3 off home runs.
Now, we talked about earlier, we talked about the pitching being pretty good, but we've seen some pretty stellar power hitting as well.
It's 3 up and 3 down for Georgia offensively in the 2nd. State had a double back in inning number 2. That was stranded at second base. It'll be 9-1-2 for Mississippi State in the 3rd inning. And Abby Grace Richardson leading things off in the 9 spot. 1-1 count to the senior from Brookhaven, Mississippi. One for 3 yesterday was Richardson in the 9 spot. And a single back in the 7th inning. Chases after that one, comes into the day, hitting .243 there in that 9 spot. Hitting just shy of 300 on the year in the leadoff position. 2-2. Chases that one outside for the first strikeout of the 3rd inning. It's the 3rd of the afternoon for Randy Rolling, and we'll go top of the order now for Mississippi State.
Randy Rolling is spinning the ball so much better today than she was on Sunday. That was a beautiful pitch, screwball on the outside corner of the plate.
State will go through the lineup for the 2nd time now. Here's Morgan Stiles. Struck out looking back in the 1st inning. Ground ball to short, Digby. Over to Novickus, 2 away.
Georgia's defense doing a great job behind their pitcher Randy Rolling today. Just making plays.
Nadia Barbary watches one bounce in the dirt there before it gets to her. Grounded out in the 1st inning.
Something that you can hear kind of in the background of the game are all the players, chit-chatting kind of and cheering throughout the game. And that's something I love so much about this game. There's always something going on. The defense is always connecting with their pitchers, with each other, communicating about the runners on base or the next play. And then the dugout, I mean, you see props like Pony, like the unicorn Pony in the Mississippi State dugout. And that just makes it fun and keeps it lively.
Outside there in the dirt, 2-1. Pink Pony unicorn from Mississippi State's class talent show back in the fall. It was used by the junior class. And there for a strike, Ali Supan is the keeper of Pink Pony.
I mean, I would love to have had to witness a talent show amongst the softball players. That would be a fun one.
Inside. Count full 3-2.
That pitch was called a ball, but that was moving from one side of the plate to the other.
We saw the unicorn come out of the dugout yesterday afternoon after State won the game. And Barbary able to walk here on the 3-2 full count. 2-out walk for Mississippi State, and there is Pink Pony. College sports are just great.
I know. There's all these silly little things.
Samantha Ricketts will emerge from the dugout here as Chelsea Wilkinson's out to talk with her pitcher here. And take advantage to talk with her batter here, 7th season as the Mississippi State head coach. Former Oklahoma standout. And Tony Baldwin has come out of the dugout to join the conversation in the circle as well. He's going right to the catcher.
You know, you've got some situational items, some situational talk coming up when Coach Baldwin comes into the circle.
And obviously situational here because you're towards the middle of the lineup. You got the 3-hitter coming up, so you obviously want to be mindful. This is where the offense is generated this weekend from Mississippi State, that top third of the lineup. Also a little bit of frustration giving up a 2-out walk as well.
I think we've talked about it before, but 2 quick outs, you kind of start to relax a little bit, and that's where a lot of free passes can come in that situation.
Here is the 3-hitter. Yara Sells walked in the first inning. Chases after that one as it bounces off the plate. One ground ball. Third to first for the out. And the walk will be stranded. We go to the bottom of the third. Georgia leads 3-0. Down.
What a combination of heads-up base running and clutch hits.
And Mississippi State already 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position here this afternoon. Georgia with 4 of its first 5 batters in the first inning reaching base. And now Georgia here in the third inning will go through the lineup for the second time. It's Kirsten Roos. Roos bunted her way aboard in the leadoff spot there in the first inning and caught probably everyone by surprise except herself and maybe Tony Baldwin.
I think surely Tony called that one. But yeah, everyone definitely going to be, defense going to be a little bit more on their toes as she comes back up to bat. Miles an hour floating in there for a strike. That was that beautiful middle speed that I mentioned earlier in this game. It's going to be an off-speed curveball, so it looks like it's coming at the batters and then just cuts right in for a strike. I would say with Roos bunting in the leadoff spot first, it tells me 2 things. One, ton of respect for Peja Gould. They know that base runner's probably going to be a little bit of a premium this afternoon if she brings her A game. The second thing is, on a rubber match Sunday, everything's on the table to try to win the series. Oh yeah, all hands on deck and whatever it takes to get the win. You're going to see sacrifices throughout this game to get a series win. Little bloop, that one will get past the shortstop Styles as she reached out for it. And a 3-2 battle there that Roos will end up getting the better of. And leadoff hitter is aboard here for Georgia in the third. Again, like whatever it takes to get on base, that ball was off the handle of the bat. But Roos took advantage of a pitch that she could really settle in right over the head of Styles at short to get on base.
Jaden Goodwin jumping on the first pitch that she got a look at in the first. Had the home run yesterday. Had a big hit Friday night to drive runs in.
She's really had a clutch weekend.
Squared to bunt but pulled back, and I think Mississippi State respecting what she has done here this weekend, not giving her much to look at here in this at-bat.
I have to say that I think that Gould is a little disappointed that she didn't get those last two. Looks like that off-speed curve again that was moving off the plate and didn't quite get enough on the plate to get a called strike there.
This one through the hole. That one will go to right field. Getting waved around is Roos. She will score. Goodwin gets the stop sign thrown up as Schaefer came up with it ready to fire home, and Georgia plates its 4th run of the afternoon, 4-0 now in the 3rd.
I love how the Georgia Bulldogs are just piecing together runs. They're not having to have those big hits. Gordon coming in clutch right here, driving a ball up the middle to score a run. But again, just putting the pieces together, passing the bat, as the Bulldogs like to say.
And we wondered if the leash would be fairly short here this afternoon on both pitchers after they both started on Friday night, and indeed, Patient Gould is going to head to the bench as Mississippi State goes to the bullpen, and we will reset with the pitching change.
Staffs in the country, and so we said, all hands on deck today to win a series, and so we're going to see Eamon today. Really excited about it. She's going to be throwing mid-60s. She's got a curve, a rise, a drop, and a changeup that she can throw in any count, and that's going to be a real strength of hers.
Sophomore transfer from Middle Tennessee.
Having good off speeds is something that this staff clearly works on heavily, and that's going to make every pitch that they throw that much better.
We discussed, on a rubber match Sunday before the game, both starters get the start Friday night. How much wiggle room would they have to work with here this afternoon? And it's Mississippi State going to the pen here in the 3rd after Gould giving up 4 runs. 2 innings responsible for the runs that have scored here this inning and the runner at first base and third base. 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 45 pitches out of her.
Yeah, I felt like Georgia really hopped on her pitching early this game, and it shows in the runs that they have scored early in this game. So maybe a little bit look in Eamon will slow the Bulldog offense down.
They're going to be loaded here with nobody out. After Eamon walks Tyler Ellison on the 3-1. So Jaden Goodwin will be at third base. Sarah Gordon goes to second. Ellison now at first. And nobody is out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Marissa Miller, who doubled her last time up.
This is a high-stakes situation right here. Regardless, you have Eamon who's coming in and immediately in a bases-loaded situation. If she can get out of this, that changes momentum. But you also have the Bulldogs who could really bust it open right here in terms of the score.
Bases loaded with nobody out. Miller, a .217 hitter on the year. The hit's better than average with runners in scoring position you saw just a moment ago. Miller with just one home run on the season, but it was a grand slam. Coming up big situationally. This feels like what could be a pretty big moment in this ball game here for both teams. This one up the middle will drop for a base hit. That will just score one. As Jaden Goodwin comes across, runners second and third kind of had to hold up there to see where that ball was going to fall.
Yeah, Silva definitely playing a bit further back, having to respect the power that Marissa Miller can bring. And it has to be ready to play that long ball. But ultimately, it backfired a little bit when Marissa Miller was able to drop one in just shy of Silva.
So it's still loaded with nobody out for Gabby Novickis. First baseman grounded out to end the first inning. 381 hitter on the year. Hitting over 300 with runners aboard and in scoring position is the Georgia first baseman. 2-0 in there for a strike for Amon. Already 14 pitches here. As the third batter that she will have faced here this afternoon.
Seems like the strike zone's gotten a little tighter today. Some of these pitches are looking pretty good.
Well hit, that one to right field. That will score one. Everyone will hold bases after advancing. And Georgia, you mentioned earlier, don't have to have the big hit. They are just passing the bat and continuing things along.
Seems like they could keep bases loaded for quite a while here. Great job by Novickis to take this opposite field, just splitting second and first base.
Scores Gordon from third, so move Ellison up to third. Here's Marissa Miller at second, Novickis at first, and Georgia is going to pinch hit. And it'll be senior Natalie Ray. And, you know, we saw her pregame. But Alyssa Faircloth, who pitched yesterday for Mississippi State, is in the bullpen and warming up. Got a pinch runner now at second base. And Molly Mitchell. Mitchell, the sophomore from Austin, Texas. Senior transfer Ray, who has spent time at North Georgia and Ole Miss. Senior from Covington, Georgia.
I want to talk a little bit about this bases loaded situation. You have Ellison on third, Molly Mitchell on second, so a little speed on second and third. And if those two runs score alone, we're in run rule territory, dare I say it.
Hard to imagine with the way this series has went here this weekend, 6-0 in the bottom of the third, that you're getting into that area in that conversation. Now here's a ground ball to second. The throw home will get one. And that'll take the lead runner out as Ellison is out at the plate. And a good play defensively there by Mississippi State. Schaefer fielded and went straight home.
Yeah, that's exactly the situation. I mean, the play that you want to see in that situation. You've got to get that lead runner out. You know you can get her just by stepping on the bag. So smart choice to get that lead runner out.
Here's Emily Digby with one out. Bases remain loaded. .500 hitter on the year with the bases loaded, hitting .409. For the season, she struck out looking in the second inning. She'll go around there on that one. 1-1 the count. Of course, if you think back to Friday night, Georgia scored 6 runs in the win Friday night. That was the most that State had given up all season. This one, a high fly ball to center. A heck of a catch made by Silva against the wall. That'll check 1 run to score for Georgia. But an outstanding play in center field by Tatum Silva, going all the way against the wall to pull that one in.
Man, she tracked that ball so well. She goes from dead middle center field and is able to track it all the way to the wall, ultimately jumping into the wall to make that catch.
So a fly ball for Digby will score 1 run. And scored Mitchell. So Levikas hit second and Ray at first now with 2 away. Georgia will have sent all 9 to the plate here in the 3rd inning and has scored 7 runs now across the first 3 innings this afternoon. And Lindemuth looking at a strike, 2-1. Lindemuth grounded out to end the 2nd inning. Sent opposite field into foul territory and just out of the reach of Sells.
Man, these outfielders today are giving us a show, really putting their bodies on the line to try to make some catches. We'll see this one again right here. She goes airborne for this ball.
So close. That one may have even grazed the glove.
I think it might have. Would have ended the inning, so it would have been a really huge catch right there. But a really difficult one as well.
Walk here, not the end of the world with third base open.
Yeah, you've done bases loaded a few times this inning.
Yeah. Here's the payoff pitch with 2 out. Ground ball, underhand to second, and that will get the runner. But Georgia will score 4 more here in the 3rd. 7-0 Georgia as we go to the 4th. Has allowed all season. As it is 7-0 after 3 innings. I don't know if either of us had that on our bingo card here this afternoon.
Definitely did not. Definitely going to look for the Mississippi State Bulldogs to really adjust to rolling, especially now more than ever after 7 runs on the board against them, really needing to do their job past the bat in order to score some runs.
Georgia with a pinch runner and pinch hitter there in the bottom of the 3rd. The starters coming back out, taking their defensive spots. No changes defensively for Georgia here in the 4th. And it's 4, 5, and 6 for Mississippi State. Oh, and that one gets underneath the glove of Bailey Lindemuth. And Des Rivera will be aboard. And immediately error thrown up on the board there. As that was one coming right at her.
Yeah, it's not something we see a lot from Lindemuth. Went for that backhand, pulls that glove up just shy of the ball.
So Rivera aboard at first. Georgia's first defensive error of the afternoon. Both teams with 1 apiece. There's Taylor Troutman, the designated player, doubled in the 2nd as Mississippi State's lone hit of the day. State has stranded one runner in every inning here so far. And after Georgia putting up 2 big innings offensively here out of 3, how does that change the calculus for this Mississippi State offense?
You hope that it lights a fire underneath them and they are a little bit more aggressive with their pitches that they're swinging at. What you don't want to see is them becoming tense and trying too hard. When you try too hard as a softball player, it doesn't always turn out for you. But these beautiful pitches from Randy Rolling, I will say, she's working that east to west a lot more. That curveball was beautiful right there. We're seeing a lot more spin than we were from her on Friday night.
And if you are rolling, you've got 7 runs to work with here. You don't let up on the intensity, but gives you a little sigh of relief.
Oh, yeah, and when you have that run support behind you, you can just trust everything a little bit more because you don't have to be nervous that, someone's going to hit a home run. Even if she had bases loaded and someone hit a grand slam, Georgia would still be winning. So she's able to just trust her pitches so much more.
Yes. Morgan Bernardini to swing and miss there. Back-to-back strikeouts on 0-2 counts.
Another beautiful curveball. This time on the outer half of the plate is able to just skim that black and get the swing and miss. We have another K being put up in the outfield. Fun little tradition for fans.
Pinch hitter here for Mississippi State has Anna Carter, the senior transfer from Southern Illinois, Athens, Alabama native. Watches a strike come in there. 5'5" senior, 250 hitter on the season. Well hit, and the pinch hitter comes through for Mississippi State as a 2-out single opposite field by the left-hander. We'll have runners at first and second with 2 out.
We spoke about Mississippi State just really attacking the zone and starting to pass the bat. We're seeing glimpses of that right here.
And now with Rivera, the catcher, in scoring position, they will pinch run for her, and that'll be Allie Supan.
The keeper of Pony.
Pony will watch on from the dugout while caretaker tried to get Mississippi State's first run of the day on the board. Tatum Silva, the center fielder, who made a really nice catch there in the 3rd inning defensively. Standing in here with 2 away. Throwback to second. Supan sliding back in.
Yeah, Miller trying to keep Supan honest over there and keep her on her toes a little bit more, not letting her get too far off the base on that leadoff.
Ground ball back to Rolling. She'll turn and toss to first. State will leave 2 on the board here in the 4th as Georgia leads 7-0. This afternoon as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And last year, this was a really young Georgia team, especially on the infield, a lot of younger hitters. This year, newcomers, those younger players have gotten a season of age, and you see the jump in offense from last season to this year.
Yeah, and if you look at down the lineup, the first 5 batters are now seniors. They're veterans. They can share their knowledge throughout the lineup, throughout the team, and it really shows in these numbers and how they've picked up. And we're only, halfway through the season. There's still so much more season to be played. Only one freshman in this Georgia lineup, and Gabby Novickus.
Georgia sent all 9 to the plate there in the 3rd inning. So Georgia will be back to the top of the order here once again in the 4th, and it'll be Kirsten Roos leading off. Defensive change, it looks like, here for Mississippi State. Just while we were getting squared away. We'll get you updated with those defensive changes when they pass those over to us. And Kirsten Roos, Layla Amon, starting off with a full inning of work here. Pop back out of play behind 0-2. So Silva is going to slide over from center to left. Sells slides from right to center. Kinley Keller is into the game now defensively in right field. We saw that change yesterday as well. There's a ground ball to 3rd base. Put out of Kirsten Roos, one away. As Kalani Sales, they're now in center field. Ground ball taken by the first baseman. And Richardson will get the quick out here, 2 away.
It was a good snag, She was able to cover a fair bit of territory over there in order to get that backhand that was coming pretty hard.
And Zion Romero is into the game now at 2nd base defensively for Mississippi State. So some rearranging and fresh players in the outfield, and then a new second baseman for the Bulldogs here.
Maybe a little shuffle can bring some good juju for Mississippi State.
Two and one the count here to Sarah Gordon, who singled and drove a run in back in our 3rd inning. To right field, and this went into the glove of Keller. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Layla Amon. 4 in the books. We go to the 5th. Well here this afternoon and feeling it.
Yeah, she's really turned over a new leaf. Coming into today, you can see how much she's spinning the ball. She's working such a variety of pitches. Really impressed by her today so far.
4 innings and about to throw her 70th pitch of the game. Pinch hitter here for Abby Grace Richardson. Paige Ernstis will stand in.
Wanting that changeup so badly. But ultimately couldn't keep her body back from that one.
Goes around on that one for a strikeout.
3 pitches and a strikeout. You love to see it. Let's go, Randy Rowland.
Her 6th of the afternoon.
Most of her strikeouts today have been from swing and misses, which tells you how much her ball is moving.
And we may have a pitching change here as Randy Rolling over 70 pitches now and is going to come out of the game here in the 5th inning. And home crowd giving her a deserving applause for a 2-hit performance here this afternoon. Georgia will go to the bullpen and we will reset. Presley Harrison delivers her first pitch of the outing as she has entered the game for Georgia. The freshman from Baxley pitched yesterday. Randy Rolling, 72 pitches this afternoon, 4 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 6. Good afternoon for her.
Yeah, definitely after coming back from her Friday outing, a little bit rougher for her, really able to turn it on its head and come out strong today.
And in 17 appearances this season for Randy Rolling, this is the 10th time that she has had 5 or more strikeouts. The 3-1 count here as Morgan Stiles will get a 1-out walk. And there's Harrison, the freshman right-hander. Harrison came in yesterday in the 6th inning after Addison Fisher gave up back-to-back home runs to tie and then give Mississippi State the lead. And she went 3 up and 3 down after coming into the game, surrendering just 1 hit in 6 batters and struck out 3.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit different of a view for Harrison. She's going to throw a little bit faster, mid to high 60s, and we're going to see a lot of rise and screwballs from her. That's kind of like her bread and butter, those go-to pitches when she's feeling her best. As I mentioned earlier, that rise and screwball going to be one of her strengths. She's going to be working a lot of vertical pitches.
This one pulled through the left side of the infield and into left center for a base hit. So with 1 out, runners at first and second. And we do have the new hitter here for Mississippi State with all the defensive changes. We should be seeing Kalani Sells. And now Kiera is going to come back into the game. So younger sister Kalani coming in defensively in the previous inning. And now Kiara will bat for herself here in the 5th inning in the 3 spot. She's 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out, but walked in the first inning. Two and 0 the count.
Yeah, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I feel like the strike zone has shrunk up a little bit today. It's definitely a little bit tighter, so these pitchers are going to have to work a little bit harder. But the batters can be a little bit more selective about what they're swinging at.
Two and 1 the count. Mississippi State is a pitch away from having the bases loaded right here. Coach Presley Harrison a pitch away from getting out of the inning. But this is a high leverage situation here in the 5th. That one comes high. Mississippi State's going to have the bases loaded here in the 5th. And has been walk, single walk since Presley Harrison entered the ball game here.
You know, we've got a little bit of movement in the Georgia Bulldogs bullpen, but this is a good opportunity for Harrison to really lock it down. She's got one out in this situation. She just needs a ground ball.
Destin Howard up in the Georgia bullpen. And now Tony Baldwin has come out of the dugout. And Randy Rolling has re-entered the game. So Randy Rolling re-entering the game. And we'll go back to the circle here for Georgia. Randy Rolling re-entering the game. She left 3 batters ago with 1 out and the bases empty. She'll come back in with 1 out and the bases loaded.
What a change for her. You can tell she's still fired up, though. Still in the zone. It hasn't been that long since she came out of the ball game.
We'll talk 5 minutes. This one's well hit to right field and into the glove in foul territory. Checking and coming home to score is Morgan Stiles. Mississippi State will have its first run of the afternoon on the fly ball RBI by Des Rivera. And that'll be a big second out for Georgia defensively, but State able to play 1 run here in the bases loaded situation.
We'll see this one again right here, but kind of a tough catch by Gordon over here. Has to change her momentum, shift her momentum to get that throw back in. Ultimately, 1 run scores, not a big deal for the Georgia Bulldogs with this lead because they have done the work ahead of time to get runs on the board. You're still in a good situation. You have 2 outs right here. And Randy Rolling back in the game.
Here's Zion Romero. Now Troutman back into the game here at DP after Romero came in defensively at second base for Schaefer. Troutman has a double here this afternoon. Mississippi State with 3 hits. At the hardest hit ball of the afternoon for State. Goes outside, a little flick of the bat there by Troutman. She'll pull it back and watch that one go outside. Grounded foul. Still runners at second and third. apiece. Once again, good battle here with Troutman. When she got her double in the second inning, it was on a 3-2 full count that she had fouled off 2 pitches with 2 strikes. Righty on lefty matchup here for Randy Rolling. Check swing, they'll ask for an appeal. There's a lefty on lefty matchup there, I should say, for Randy Rolling. Susan Eads, our third base umpire, saying that one a ball. 2-2 the count with 2 away. And that one eats up the shortstop, Digby. That's going to play 1 run. Here comes a second run. There will be no throw as Kiara Sells slides in safely. That'll score Nadia Barbary from third base. Sells coming around from second. And Tony Baldwin out of the dugout. And we saw an ask for interference on a similar play earlier this weekend. That was a tough play right there with the runner coming across. Digby in a tough spot to make that play.
Absolutely. You'll see it again right here. But the ball was coming through right behind the runner, right in front of the runner, excuse me. So Digby did not have a clear view on that ball, and ultimately, you know, I couldn't tell if that actually hit her, but her glasses flew off. Like, very tough situation. Seems to be in good spirits. Walk it off a little bit.
That'll be the second defensive error of the game. They're going to charge an error to Digby there on that one.
See it one more time right here. Yeah, I think it did just kind of miss her glove and kind of hit the glasses probably broke the fall, honestly, from actually hitting her too hard. But
a good hit there for Taylor Troutman to put good contact on it and reach on the error, so she'll stand at first base with 2 away. And Kinley Keller batting for the first time after coming in defensively.
we talked about Mississippi State needing to really pass the bat, not do too much. Here they are a little bit later.
Ground ball over, but a productive inning here for Mississippi State. The first 3 runs on the board for the day at 7-3.
You know she's got to be feeling good about that outing yesterday. Hopefully coming in with a lot of confidence today.
Her numbers on the season. 21st appearance of the year with a 1.48 ERA. 148 strikeouts to 19 walks.
Jeez. We mentioned it yesterday during her appearance, but she's going to be throwing mid-60s. We're going to see a lot of change-ups like we did yesterday, but also a rising curve that has some pretty good movement on them.
So Kiara Sells back in defensively. She'll go to right field. Keller's going to slide over to center. Richardson will come back to first. Schaefer, who got subbed out for Romero, will now go back to second base.
I feel like they're playing musical chairs a little bit.
You almost throw a different lineup out there, down 7 runs, but you get a little bit of life here in the 5th, scoring 3. You can move some folks back around, and what a luxury. We talked about how good defensively this Mississippi State team has been all year. What a luxury to have so many different options that you can move things around and feel good about what you got.
Yeah, as a coach, you love that, to have that depth on the bench.
Four, 5, and 6 for Georgia here in the bottom of the 5th. Samantha Ricketts has never quit. Mississippi State team down 7-0 going into this inning, but scoring 3 runs in the top half. And now we'll put the left-hander into the game.
And as the Georgia Bulldogs offense, you have to know that this is a possibility, that you're going to see this pitcher that, for the most part, shut you down yesterday, again today.
We mentioned what a performance out of her yesterday, but it's going to give up a leadoff walk.
With someone, for someone with so little walks, excuse me.
None yesterday.
Yeah, it's very rare that you would see a leadoff walk.
Squares to bunt. And nobody's back at home to cover third base. Mississippi State, I think, is saying that ball should be dead.
Yeah, I think they're saying it hit her. Hit Miller. But heads up base running by Ellison right there to realize that there's no one covering third. Because that's kind of 101 when it comes to bunt defense, is make sure there's someone back to cover third.
We saw Samantha Ricketts come out of the dugout. Georgia with them on the corners here. We're about to hear from Susan Eads.
A little audio issue maybe.
Microphone not working, but you could read the lips of Susan Eads that Mississippi State challenging the call. We saw this earlier in the game where Georgia struck out. Ball got away, but it hit the foot of the base runner, but no challenge from Mississippi State. The umpires did not mention it.
You can't tell from that angle if it hit her. Well, we'll probably see a few different angles right here, just as the umpires are looking at.
Miller has that one kind of come back up, and oh boy, that is close.
Is this going to be another situation like Sarah Gordon's earlier? So if that ball hit her, she's still in the box. So it would be a dead ball. It wouldn't be an out.
What's interesting to me is if you watch the trajectory of the ball, it doesn't look like it changes a
I
whole
know.
lot. And so I wonder if that is what the officials saw, and maybe it did.
I
Almost
know,
on
real
the full speed, it looks like maybe it did.
That's crazy. You get the call right here.
So this one back in Birmingham as the league will take a look at the replay. Couple looks here, and this will be at normal speed. Mississippi State immediately, and Nadia Barbary, the third baseman, she had that angle there from third base saying that that hit her. So everybody's standing around waiting, and this one's a tough one to certainly look at, especially with it being called no contact on the field. You're going to have a good look to overturn that one.
see this one again. Sacrifice bunt turned maybe a dead ball.
Maybe it did hit her by the way it kind of curved off there at the end. This is going to be a big play right here. Looks like the call is going to be changed. So it is a dead ball here for Marissa Miller, so she'll go back to first base. I think just as big right there is the heads-up base running by Tyler Ellison. Third base, it came in to argue about the play. She took third base, so she'll come out of scoring position and go back to first.
Yeah, this can be one of those plays that could shift some momentum right here, especially if Faircloth's able to get an out at the plate right here.
An 0-1 count here to Miller after she fouled that one off. After she had about 5 minutes to stand there and think about it, going to deliver a strike there and make the count 0-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
That's that potential momentum shift that I was talking about right there. Faircloth able to use those curveballs, consecutive curveballs, to get that out right there.
Here's Gabby Novickis swinging and missing. Novickis with an RBI single back in the third. After walking Tyler Ellison on a full count, Faircloth much more in sync with what we saw yesterday. Back-to-back 3-pitch outings with the first 2 batters here, 2 away.
I think something so special about today. Obviously, we're seeing that changeup like right there, but we're also seeing her curveball move even more than it did yesterday, which is going to be super important today.
That one gets away. Ellison will take second and go to scoring position. If it's moving even more than yesterday in 11 strikeouts, Georgia's offense is going to have its work cut out for it.
Yes, but most of those strikeouts were on changeups.
Yeah.
She was using that changeup an immense amount yesterday, and some of the harder hits were on her curveballs yesterday. So you have to think that her curveball was not moving as much as it could yesterday. But right now, tracking this curveball, it's insane. It's moving so much. And it's almost moving on 2 different planes.
Well, if you can get the change to be as good as yesterday plus the curve,
it's going to be a tough one to beat.
Should be tough here over the next 3 innings. After giving up the leadoff walk, back-to-back strikeouts for Alyssa Faircloth, picking right up where she left off yesterday. We go to the 6th, and Georgia leading 7-3. Randy Rowling back in the game there last inning to pitch for Georgia. But with Alyssa Faircloth coming in, State scoring the 3, the momentum of this game a little weird. Feels like it has kind of shifted Mississippi State's way.
Yeah, I feel like the Georgia Bulldogs really need to show some fight right here to shut down this Mississippi State offense and kind of shift that momentum back to their lead.
Seven, 8, and 9 for Mississippi State here in the 6th inning. And Georgia looking to kind of slow this offense down after State plated 3 in the 5th. And while the momentum does feel like it has shifted, State down to its final 6 outs here. So certainly 4 runs to tie. Offense will need to be taking every single at-bat as a big one.
Yeah, even though, we talked about the momentum shift a little bit. I think that makes this deficit for the Mississippi State Bulldogs feel a little bit shorter or closer.
Big crowd here. At Jack Turner Stadium this afternoon for the rubber match between these two. Two is lifted to right field. Coming on is Gordon and making the catch. And that'll bring up the center fielder Tatum Silva with one down. Silva 0 for 2 here today. He ground out in the 2nd and the 4th innings. 1-0 is popped up into foul territory. Coming on is Jaden Goodwin making the catch from left in foul territory. 2 down.
Yeah, you could tell there was great communication right there from Goodwin to Digby. They were both going for that ball, and last minute when she hears Goodwin calling that ball, Digby is able to tail off and get out of her way so that she can make that play cleanly.
Abby Grace Richardson back in the ball game here offensively. Got pinch hit for in the 5th. Gabby Schaefer got pinch hit for in the 4th before coming back in here this inning. 2-0 the count here to the first baseman. She struck out in the 3rd inning. Randy rolling behind here 3-0. Pitch 95 about to come out of the left hand. Rolling. That one just misses. It's a 2-out walk here for Abby Grace Richardson. And with a runner aboard, it'll be the 4th time through the lineup for Mississippi State. And here is Morgan Stiles for the 4th time this afternoon. Strikeout and a ground out, but she has walked and scored. That most recently back in the 5th frame. Right back to rolling, and that'll do it for the 6th inning. Mississippi State offensively. We go to the bottom of the 6th, Georgia by 4.
We expect it to be competitive, but not necessarily in the ways that we've seen it. Like we saw pitchers duel almost on Friday and Saturday with several different arms. But we have seen the bats light up today.
Georgia's offense, 7 runs on 8 hits here this afternoon. Little pop into this one to center field. And Keller will go back and make the catch. And that'll be the first out of the inning. One away, that'll bring up Bailey Lindemuth. Lindemuth watching as that one come in for a strike. 0 for 2 on the day. She has grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice. 1-1 the count to her. Pulled foul, light contact there. One and 2 the count. That one snuck past her there for another strikeout.
That's kind of that dual movement that I was talking about earlier. Not only is it moving east to west, but it has a little bit of a rise to it, which is making the batters swing and miss just under it.
4th strikeout against 6 batters here.
Pretty good ratio, if you ask me.
For Alyssa Fairclough. Top of the order for Georgia. It's been 1 through 3 that has done the damage this weekend for Georgia. Now 1-1 here to Kirsten Roos. Chases after that one. Roos has been retired just once today. He's got a pair of singles on a 2 for 3 afternoon. And it comes high count, evens up here 2-2. Well hit, that one to right field. It'll be a 2-out single for Kirsten Roos. A 3 for 4 afternoon for Georgia's second baseman. And a good battle there with 2 outs in a 2-2 count.
Now with 2 outs, you're coming into a part of the lineup that has been pretty hot this weekend.
Jane Goodwin has swung the bat really well. She scored twice here today. She singled in the first, walked in the third. In there for a strike, 0-2. Inside at the knees, and Goodwin Gordon 2-3 really the damage. We mentioned 1 through 3, but 2 and 3 here this weekend has been the damage in the Georgia offense. 1-2 is pulled foul. Popped to left center. Keller will come over from center and make the catch. And Mississippi State down to its final 3 outs as we go to the 7th. We go to the 7th inning here in the rubber match this weekend between Mississippi State and Georgia. Mississippi State quiet offensively until the 5th, 4 reached, 3 runs. But you go back to the rest of the game, 5 left on base, no runs. This Faircloth, the third pitcher of the afternoon for Mississippi State. Meanwhile, it's been clutch hitting for Georgia this afternoon. 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Randy Rolling started the game, left briefly, back in the game here, and remains in the game here as we go to the 7th. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for Mississippi State coming to the plate. As Georgia will look to close the door here and pick up its first series win of the season in conference play. Nadia Barbary leading it off for Mississippi State. This one is sent to foul territory and right. And will bounce out of play. Our crew doing a phenomenal job this weekend as always. Sam Carroll, Austin Simmons, Mark Bridges, Henry Gomez, and Evan Reese working the cameras here at Jack Turner Stadium this afternoon. Pitch 100 from Randy Rolling. Michael Feinberg, Eric Dunn, Noah Hicks, Sam Walters on graphics, Brady Logan, Daniel Oakes bringing the replays with Connor McDuffie here this afternoon, all back in our control room inside Sanford Stadium. 1-1 in there for a strike. Trey Morrow directing and Blake Hines producing a happy man after the Razorbacks advanced to the Sweet 16 last night. Two-1 is popped out of play.
Randy Rolling inducing a lot of fly balls and pop-ups with the spin that she has had today.
Two will miss. And the count full here, 3-2. But appreciate our crew this weekend bringing softball to you here on the SEC Network. It has been a beautiful weekend for a 3-game series in the 3rd weekend of SEC play. The 2nd for these two teams, both already on the bye in SEC play this year. Popped up and will get just out of play. Light breeze here in Athens, starting to blow out towards center as this one is sent towards center field. This one will bounce off the wall, get over the head of Sullivan in center, and it's going to be a leadoff double here for Nadia Barbary. Barbary's 2nd hit of the day. She singled in the 5th.
What a great piece of hitting right there by Barbary. Is able to just drive that one, and it hits the wall so hard it comes off almost, 3/4 of the way back to the infield. Good effort out there by Sullivan in center.
You saw Sullivan chase there, thinking she was going to be able to make the catch. And that one ended up banging off the wall on a really hard hit ball by Barbary. There's Georgia's center fielder. Kiara Sells, the batter, the right fielder. She has reached twice today via walk.
Mississippi State needing 4 runs to stay alive in this ball game right here. You have 1 in scoring position on second in Barbary. What it's going to take is just passing the bat, not doing too much with each at-bat and just getting base hits.
3-0 is going to miss.
Or free passes. That'll do the job.
So the first 2 batters are aboard here for Mississippi State. Randy rolling at 109 pitches now. And after pitching 2 innings Friday night, getting the start, not having the command necessarily there with Kiara Sells. Ada Little and Destin Howard up for Georgia in the bullpen. Here's the catcher, Des Rivera, looking for her first hit of the afternoon. In the cleanup spot, looks at a strike. Rivera with 2 fly balls here this afternoon. She's reached on an error. The fly ball in the 5th inning was ruled a sacrifice that scored a run. And got Mississippi State's first run of the day on the board. This one into the glove of the second baseman, Roos. A tough play there, moving to her left to get it out and make the throw, but that will at least get the first out of the inning defensively for Georgia. Meanwhile, Mississippi State will move them both into scoring position.
Yeah, that ball kind of floated in the air a little bit. Definitely a hard play for Roos to make. We'll see it again right here. She's able to get that ball, and almost as her momentum keeps on shifting her to the outfield, she's able to make the throw in order to get the out. And now you have 2 runners in scoring position for Mississippi State. It's a really good opportunity for them right here to take advantage and score some runs.
Taylor Troutman coming up here for Mississippi State, who has 2 of the 5 state hits here this afternoon. Double in the 2nd, a single in the 5th. Both of those extremely long at-bats against Randy Rolling. Multiple foul balls fouled off with 2 strikes. 2 in scoring position here for State in the 7th. So double and a walk to open the inning. Des Rivera grounded out, moving them into scoring position. 1-1 the count here to Troutman. There's a ground ball to second. That will score 1 run here for State and cut the deficit to 3. The 4th run of the game for the Bulldogs. But Mississippi State now down to its final out. Score Barbary and move Sells to 3rd. Samantha Ricketts looks on from the Mississippi State dugout. There's Kinley Keller for the 2nd time this afternoon. Came on to hit in the 5th inning, where she grounded out. Was a defensive sub in outfield, starting in right, has since shifted over to center. As the 0-1 is fouled back out of play. And Mississippi State now down to its final strike. Jack Turner Stadium crowd making noise here with 2 away. Fowler watches that one come by.
You know, pitching this weekend as a whole has been most effective when the pitchers are getting ahead early in the counts, but that's certainly true for Randy Rolling. She's been able to command the zone a bit more, especially today, and getting ahead.
There's a ground ball to short. Over to first, and Georgia wins its first SEC series of the season. With a 118-pitch performance here from Randy Rolling here, and it is the first SEC series win for Georgia since April 20th of 2024. That is a long time ago. But Georgia taking care of business here at home, winning the series 2-1.
Yeah, you know it feels good for them to kind of break that streak and win this SEC series against such good pitching, as well as such good defense, such a good program holistically in Mississippi State. Randy Rolling able to come out and have a stellar performance today. In the 2 times that we saw her today, able to show out.
Georgia will win the rubber match here this weekend.